Ki khubor ka Batisi TV. Lawan Rashapi da ka Frank Motors. The dark is here to rule.
Ka IZ Group of Institution Bangalore, kadai ke college babhatam nagabanta ka jingkuli nursing but paramedical course, hospital training, pinyo scholarship but 6% ka kam, haki hospital bahedo India but shabari. Nabanta ka jingkuli ka jingsiyo ka parit but pila ban legu ban kuli da ka education loan. Pila ruban syukola ho number kandai nyo saw san riu pranot. Lani kandai pran riu laisan, ar riu kandai pra.
Hatu pikwa bagi janjong pikin kuit bha benar kam daka Oswell su hila banyo na barok kidukan
ka Sorkar jila ka Thaw de rule ban Pynkhlaiñ gi Bniat Jong ka the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act 1985 namarba ka section 64A jong ni ka an ka ai light lo yakinu gi bapenat kam yo drugs kin light suk nakishrip jong ka an u menteri ketnat social welfare ka Sorkar jila ba polling do ha ka khat atari ujili araja phulai ulalum da ka jingelang balai shimenta da ki he officer jo ketnat pulit na ketnat ka koi ka khia na ketnat social welfare na ka memhans na ketnat CIB bat na kitnat tri kam ba pher jong ka Sorkar jila ha ka jinge kram bigila phai ko bor ba polling do ulai thu ba ka jing Thaw ka rule kalong hadien balai I ba ka jingwan rung jong drugs jang ni ka jila mekhlia kala long shaba palat liam bat kat kum ka jingyo jing khain nadu snam ar hajar kat khandai ka jingdon jong kinong penan kam ya drugs kala kiew bha kene ka jila bat ru ha kisan li ki district jong ka jila la ithu kum ki jaka ba ka jur bha ka jing penan kam ya drugs shu la ithu ba ling ba ka dream project ya ka bala pen penapat ba house nam bala dem la menjur ya ka draft policy ban penlat lut ya ka jila meghalaya na drugs
on a problem that has assumed very alarming proportions, and that is the drug menace across Meghalaya. From figures that have been furnished to us, the rate of addiction has gone up. The number of drug users has certainly gone up from the last figures that were collected in 2019. And also 5 districts in the state have been identified as hotspots. The incidence of drug abuse has gone sky high. Today, our commitment, the commitment of the government of Meghalaya, has been renewed, and we will go all out, in fact on a war footing, to try and eliminate the problem of drug trafficking with all the negative effects it is having on society. So as you are well aware, cases relating to drug addiction and trafficking come under the Ndps, the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act of 1985. But we have noticed certain loopholes in the Act, for which today's meeting I had reiterated the need for us to have rules framed by the state government, because certain sections of the Act, for instance, Section 64A, give space to whoever is using drugs to escape the net of the law. And so at today's meeting, which was attended by senior officials of the police, the social welfare department, the health department, MEMHANS, and other, the SP, DSP, CID, its interdepartmental uh, representation. So the major point of focus now is on the Dream Project, which was conceived and announced uh, last year. But today, uh, we're happy to announce here that the draft policy has been approved and notified. And under this DREAM, which is an acronym for Drug Reduction, Elimination, and Action Mission, which calls for a drug free Meghalaya. Drug Reduction, Elimination, and Action Mission, working towards a drug free Meghalaya. Under this mission, a mission director and his team will assist the government in coordinating the efforts of various departments which are interlinked to this issue, and also total sanction of 5 crores has been set aside for undertaking publicity campaigns and increasing awareness programs. These all will come under this mission. Prevention of Illicit Traffic in Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act 1988. That is PIT and DPS. So far, we have not been able to invoke the provisions of this act because we are yet to be able to create an advisory board. But today, a retired High Court judge has consented. Mr. Shivaji Pandey, who is also the chairman of the State Consumers Council, has consented in writing to be the chairman of the advisory board. So once the chairman of the advisory board agrees to take over the assignment of chairman of the board, that gives us that clears the pathway for us to implement this very important act. Under this act, persons with known antecedents of being drug traffickers or being indulged in narcotic trade, big, medium, or small, can be booked under this act and they will undergo preventive detention for an initial period of 3 months, which can be extended up to a year. There have always been complaints that the traffickers manage to obtain bail very easily. But once this is invoked, and once the chairman who has agreed, meaning that the next step for us is to notify this advisory board, then we are fully in a position to implement this act. And these known traffickers will now be booked under this act to facilitate their being detained under this act and not be able to secure bail for 3 months. However, if they feel that they have been unjustly detained, they can always appeal to the board in writing as to why they should not be detained and why they should be released. Because there is not only the problem of not only the question of updating the figures, but in certain cases because of, say, the same person going to different rehab centers, multiple centers to get himself treated, and sometimes using different names, that there is also the problem of getting the statistics correct. So now what we have decided is that under this project, all centers, the addiction centers, will use a single platform, uh, online and offline, so that we have the figures correct, the identity of the persons being treated, which will remain anonymous, but correct figures will be available with the government. Yeah, these are flaws in policing, and we will certainly try to plug the loopholes wherever we find them occurring. Uh, but the fact that such a large consignment was also seized proves that we are not sleeping. I mean, it's a huge consignment that could have gone to any part of Meghalaya, or without, or gone through, because Shillong is also, a point from which various which connects the rest us to the rest of the northeast India, and we're also close to the Golden Triangle. So it's not just a local issue here. It's a multi-dimensional issue, very complex, and we need to tone up policing. First, as I said, we will now draft rules under the Central Act to make those rules more stringent. For instance, it was pointed out that anybody having or possessing less than 5 kgs of particular drug can always obtain bail by taking shelter of this section 64A of the NDPS. So now we will accordingly have a fresh look by strengthening the rules, so that we tighten those rules, have state rules which will be uh, based on the Central Act, but which will be more stringent when it comes to applicability.
Classification, what, 5 gram or 5 kg?
I need to check that, but yeah, but a certain quantity. I, I, I will get the correct uh, figures, but the point being that you can actually come out because of the specification of quantity. We would like to ensure that the State Act does not even speak of quantity. Any drug seized becomes you become punishable under the Act and rules framed under that Act by the Maryland. In order to understand the concerns of various departments and come to a point of convergence of all departments. Uh, what we are also doing is we are involving schools through student cadets, which have we will be identifying in all schools. And the other aspect, the more important aspect, which you pointed out, I will be meeting uh, heads of religious institutions. Uh, there is a forum called All Faiths Forum. I am meeting them day after. All rehab centers across the state have been and are being supported by the state government. Uh, on our own, however, in the first phase itself, we have identified 3 districts which will have these de-addiction centers to be run entirely by the Department of Social Welfare. 3 such districts will come under phase 1. Uh, But where the other centers are concerned, they all have the full backing of the state government. Kripa Foundation, supported by the Social Welfare Department through PPP mode. Breakthrough Center, Tershi Jawai, supported by the Social Welfare Department. KJPA New Hope De-Addiction Center, supported by MOS JE, that is under IRCA. New KGP New Hope De-Addiction Center for Females, supported by the Social Welfare Department. Free treatment is being provided in all these de-addiction centers. KGPA Selda Center for Girls Nongstoin, supported by the Social Welfare Department. Free treatment is being provided. This is all fully supported by the Social Welfare. Yeah, it's just the management. The management is not in the hands of the government, but the financial support comes fully. Kini ki center, kini ki banga puli mentan, kini ki bangi ai free treatment. Na try pi confuse kini, but kini ki private institutions. Ki private institutions ki long kumka New Life di Addiction Center, katu kalong private. Wisdom Center Dihar ini kalong private. Theo Rehabilitation Center kini kalong private. Sun Care kalong private. Ini kini private centers. Hendrai keba pi kedau kabang ai ke list mentan Sun teli kini ki center mau diang New Shalong kli tersi Jawai mau diang Sakaway lightly mau diang kidai ki bayu full financial support na social welfare nang ta ke Jawai pat ka Nongstoin. Kani kam pat long official hadu menta kimpat don ki school ki ba report sengi te lane ki police ki ban ai ki report tendre ke bangila ban le kalong ba ngin penjur namar kani ke hadu beros kata kadi tang draft mentai kani la dat menjur te kemut ba ke awareness program ke jongi ngin intensify ba ngin cover ya ki kena nadu ki kena school bakin tip ha ya ki ai ki jingma bat ki ai ki strategi ki bakini ki peddlers ki pendan kam